Tottenham 2, AS Roma 2. Of course, late equalizer for Roma sees the teams share the points in this Europa League match day. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt. Roma, of course, come into this game in dreadful form. They are on their third manager of the year. Claudio Ranieri has come out of retirement, taken the job with the club he first played for back in the 80s, I believe it was. And, of course, you can't really put it any other way. It was another just, it seems like every time we play him, like his teams play to the highest of high levels, and we just find a way to blow it. That's kind of what happened here. As I said, I mean, a draw isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not a loss, but we'll get into it. But the whole second half was absolutely dreadful. I don't think we had like one truly good opportunity in that whole half, which is just absolutely insane. We'll start out early though. I believe it was like just into the third minute. There was a cross into the box. Johnson fed it back to Sarr, who's going in on net. He was tripped up by Mats Hummels. It took at least 2 minutes of a VAR check for them to finally rule that was a penalty. And Tottenham would be going to the spot. It would be Heung-min's son stepping up, his first penalty attempt for Tottenham this season. He would convert it 1-0 to Tottenham 5 minutes into this game. And, you know, you start feeling good a little bit about the vibes. Like, hey, like we got an early one. Let's go get a quick one. Not as quick second, but we got to figure out something because you're going to have Fraser Forster in net today. You're going to have him in net most of the year. Well, calendar year, I should say, because Vicario has gone down. He with a broken ankle. He had ankle surgery at the beginning of the week. Who knows how long he's going to be out. But this just goes to show how just insane this club is run, that Forster is going to be starting for the foreseeable future, and he's not even that good because we will not go out and sign a decent keeper at any point. We just don't consider it. We're like, we're going to have this one keeper, and if he gets injured, he gets injured. It doesn't really matter. We'll just bring in the best option we have in free agency of homegrown talent so we can just meet those quotas. Go out and find somebody. Like, it's absolutely insane. I mean, I at least try with Brendan Austin and Alfie Whiteman have been here forever, it seems. And I don't think either of them have a cap yet. They are always like this third and fourth string keepers because then we'll bring in like a Joe Hart or a Fraser Forster. And it's like, what are we even doing? Like, just at least give them a run, see if they're worth keeping around, and then we'll move on. If they're not that. If they are, maybe we got a decent backup keeper. You don't know until you try, and Tottenham Hotspur will not try. I think it's because they know it's not going to work out. It's mind-boggling. But Tottenham go up 1-0 early. Of course, the worry was that it wasn't an if, it's when they were going to concede. It came in the 20th minute. A beautiful free kick opportunity gets driven into the box. It was Ndikia with the header. I mean, it's a brilliant header, top corner. Like, I have to give it for Forster. I don't think he was going to save that no matter what. It was brilliant. I mean, off the post, down and in. There wasn't much you could do there. It's 1-1 as we enter the 20th minute of play. Okay, so now you're thinking, well, you know, you don't know what can happen here. It is what it is. And then, literally, I think it was 2 minutes later, we have just another beautiful play from Roma The ball ends up far post back of the net in, but offsides is called. That will be a reoccurring theme in this game as it stays 1-1, even though it very much should have been 2-1 to Roma. Like I said, this is going to be a common theme in this game because Roma had like 2 more in the second half alone. They could have easily won this game like 4-1, 4-2, something like that. 26th minute, just an absolutely just mess in the box as Tottenham Hotspur get off like 3 different shots. It's either taken off the line by a defender, blocked by their goalkeeper. Just it was an absolute mess of opportunities, and Tottenham didn't convert. I do have to give it to Fraser Forster. He had moments today where he was making incredible saves. One of those came in like the 26th minute. It was a Dybala shot. I mean, it was a brilliant save. He very much kept Tottenham Hotspur in this game today. 34th minute, Kulusevski cross into the box, right to the penalty spot. Who's waiting there? Brennan Johnson, back in the net. He finds it. Tottenham go up 2-1. I mean, it was a brilliant cross. You had it basically passed by 4 different Roma defenders on its way into the box. And it was perfectly set up from Brennan Johnson. He puts it in the back of the net. Re-gives Tottenham the lead as it is now 2-1. Rest of the half, Tottenham had a few good opportunities. I know Kulusevski, a few minutes later, he had a brilliant opportunity. It hits the far post and bounces back into play. If that would have went in, that could have been huge for Tottenham. But 40th minute, I know Son had an opportunity in there that forced a massive save from Roma. And then, that was basically it for the half. It was a interesting half for Tottenham. They had the lead. It didn't feel like they were dominating, though. Roma always felt like they were counterattacking every Tottenham opportunity that they had. And then the second half happened. Roma absolutely dominated the second half. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They dominated the second half. Tottenham didn't know what to do, it felt like. I think it was right around the 54th minute, 53rd, 54th. A brilliant cross into the box, finds the back of the net on another Roma attack. Offsides is called for. No VAR check. He was clearly offsides, but the fact still stands. This is their second offsides of the game. Then we get to the 55th minute, and here we go again. Another cross into the box, finds it to the near post. It's Dorbrick who puts it in the back of the net, and he's offsides again. So that is 3 goals ruled off for offsides in this game for Roma. And it was poor defending at the back today, no matter what. I don't care if the goals were offsides. It was poor defending, whichever way you look at it. It's just not a good look when you basically have conceded 5 goals in a game. I know 3 of them were offsides, but still, they found the back of the net. Not a great look. Roma had another opportunity in the 60th minute, but it was a brilliant cross into the box. It was headed towards the far post. Dragishin is right there on the goal line, heads it away to keep this at a 2-1 game. Pedro Porro comes close on a free kick just a few moments later. A ball that hits the top of the post and goes out. Again, that was probably maybe the only true opportunity Tottenham had in the second half. It really didn't feel like they had much of anything left. And as we dragged on, it felt like it was inevitable that a Roma equalizer was coming. And we get to the first minute of stoppage time on a corner kick. Mats Hummel puts it in the back of the net, equalizes the game 2-2, and I don't even really know what to say. Fraser Foster, so much out of position in this one. He's at the near post as the ball's being crossed in to Hummels. Hummels at the far post. There's nobody there whatsoever. No defending to be had within a mile. And that's that. Tottenham come away with at least a point. I mean, it's at least not 0 points, but they come away with a point here in this one. So we'll take a look at the stats. Very interesting day for the stats. We're basically split 50-50 on possession. Passing, it was 449 to 431 accurate. That's where it kind of skews a little bit, but not by much. 379 to 361, both at 84%. Shots, there was a little bit of difference there. 24 for Tottenham, 17 for Roma. But, you look at the expected goals, 3.61 for Tottenham, 2.44 for Roma. You got to take advantage of these opportunities you're given. You're not going to get these every single day. I don't know. It felt like as the second half went on, you knew an equalizer was going to come. It was just a matter of if Tottenham on the attack would show up at any point in the half and try to get a third before that equalizer comes. And they never did. They never did. And here we are, languishing in a draw here on a Europa League Thursday night. Let's get into the player ratings. We start up top as we always do. Heung-min's son, he had the penalty goal in this one. He earns an 8.2. He's my man of the match. I thought he did very well today. Other than obviously his scoring of the penalty, it felt like he had a few opportunities to score today. It's one of the better performances I think we've seen from Son in the past few games. And it came against AS Roma. I know their form is dreadful now, but it's still AS Roma. Like, it's not like he's doing it against Elfsborg or, doing it against lesser competition, basically. I'm glad that it was at least against a quality opponent. Dom Solanke, 7-1. I felt like it probably could have been a tad bit lower, but here we are anyways. He had a few opportunities today, but it feels like Tottenham are struggling to find him in scoring opportunities. Once they find him in scoring opportunities, he can finish. It's just the fact they can't get to those scoring opportunities, which is not giving him opportunities to finish. Something's got to get figured out there, because I refuse to believe this club broke a club record fee again for a striker that cannot score goals. I have to believe that this is going to work out. It has to. Brennan Johnson, 8-2. He could have been man of the match today. He had a brilliant performance today. I thought he did really well on that right side. Of course, the goal, just brilliant. His build-up into that goal, brilliant. I thought he did very well today. Our midfield, it was a little bit shifted today. We had a little bit more of a central defending midfield with Bentancur kind of stepping back today. Instead of just having three central midfielders, you have the two midfielders up top in Sar and Kulusevski, who I thought, both were decent today. They kind of played off each other. Kulusevski was the better player today. He had the assist on that Johnson goal, an absolutely brilliant assist. Like I said, beating like 4 Roma defenders. He earns 7.8, Sar 7.7, Bentancur a 6.9. I didn't think it was the best of games from him today. I think it could have been a lot better. It also could have been a lot worse. I feel like we're going to see this, though, a lot with his 7-game suspension in domestic play. He's not going to get a lot of playing time, but I'm sure they're going to be starting him in the Cup or the Europa League, I should say. They can't start him in the Cup because that's domestic. I feel like we're going to get more performances like this just because he's not going to have the playing time. And that is absolutely awful. Archie Gray, I thought he did decent on that left side today. it seems like Postecoglou just, for these games, even though he's a midfielder, he's like, go on the right or go on the left in the defense, and that's it. I thought he did okay. It wasn't great, wasn't terrible. 7-1. Davies and Dragoshin, they had a brilliant game on Saturday at the Etihad. Today, not so much. Davies, I thought, was the better of the two. He earns a 6-6, but a 6-6 is still not great. Dragoshin, a 6-4. And Pedro Porro, a 7-7. He did what he usually does on that right side. That goal that could have been on the free kick that hit the top of the post, that was so close to being so great. Forster, like I said, he could have had a shot at man of the match today, even though it ended 2-2, because he kept Tottenham in this game. He made a few miraculous saves, including the one right before the equalizing goal that nobody will remember now because that equalizing goal happened. An incredible leaping save to send it out for another quarter that resulted in a goal. But, he kept Tottenham in this game. He deserves an 8-1. I hope we keep seeing somewhat good performances from him because he's all we got now. We look at our subs. Madison and Bissouma both came on in the 68th minute. Madison is 6-8, Bissouma is 7-2. I thought Bissouma played a little bit bigger of a role in his substitution play than Madison did. Therefore, obviously, the scoring there. And Bergvall and Werner both came out in 77th. Bergvall is 6-4. Werner is 5-8. Timo had a few opportunities. Not good opportunities, but he had opportunities. And they didn't turn into much because it's Timo Werner. So, yeah, it's at least a point in this new Europa League table, whatever. For Tottenham, it is back at home again on Sunday. I believe it is a 8:30 a.m. kickoff here in the U.S. Eastern Standard Time. Playing against Fulham. Of course, Tottenham, they'll either win 4-1 or lose 2-1. It's going to be interesting to see which Tottenham shows up in league play. So make sure you're back here Sunday night for the recap of that game. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Top of the Perch. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe, tell anybody you know about it. Like I said, we'll be back here Sunday night to recap all that happens in that Fulham game. And we will see you again soon for another episode of Top of the Perch.